good morning. It's Sunday and we've got over some technical difficulties. So, welcome to those who are catching up after the fact. My name's Tom. I'm in the bunker and today we're going to be painting. So, I thought it was pretty cool to do some 30k stuff. And I'm going to do this as a sort of semi-regular series. The reason being is relatively straightforward. I believe there's massive benefits to painting and modelling and doing our beloved hobby as a tool for relaxation. So every Sunday I'm going to take a bit of time out for myself and I'm going to document in a sort of like a live vlog series, painting miniatures. And I've been building and painting up a bit as a bit of a labour of love. I've been doing my Sons of Horus. So there's a normal bloke with it. I think that's a Legion Vexilla. You'll have to forgive me. So that's one of the sons. I've been sort of doing them in the background, so to speak, for a bit of fun and a bit of relaxation. And eventually, I'm going to start playing against Pete and James and some of the other guys at the gaming club, and we're going to be getting some 30k action in. So there you go. There's one of my rhinos. So I've been sort of busy beavering away in the background, but I thought it was pretty cool if I work on my Praetor. So I'm going to paint away, and if anybody wants to ask questions, apparently the chat works. It's live chat apparently, so do say hi. Apparently, I don't know. I don't really know a great deal about live workout and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so that's my Praetor. He's undercoated in the Colour Forge Traitor Green, which is a phenomenal colour. Basically, it's Sons of Horus in a can. So top tip, check that out. Excuse me, guys. And yeah, so I've just blacked in there, and now I'm going to do some of his trim. So I'm going to use Vallejo. So I've been using Vallejo Brassy Brass for the trim, and it's basically the way I work is I do a base coat over the whole thing. For the different colours, and then I've used Army Painter Dark Tone, and it sort of ties it all together, which is a sort of good trip. If you want to do sort of like grimy and dirty and, I almost said filthy, but I don't suppose filthy, maybe if you're doing Emperor's Children, I don't know. It's an easy sort of way to paint them, and it gives you that effect, which is really sort of cool and messy, so to speak, just out of a tin. Or out of a tube, should we say. So, let's have a look. So Horus Heresy seems to be really sort of picking up the club. So I attend Swindon Wargamers and Tacticians, or SWAT, as we like to think that we're really tactically advanced, which we're really not. Some of us are, some of us are. And it's really sort of picking up pace. And I think it's probably safe to say it's picking up pace globally, probably globally. And I'm really looking forward to playing, but it's more of a labour of love for me, or at Heresy. So I'm really sort of looking forward to getting the first games in and stuff like that, but I'm going to have a fully painted army for that. It's just the way that I am. You have to forgive the wind in the background. So I'm in the bunker. I've got a little gaming bunker that I've made. I'm lucky enough to have my own space. The issue is our garden is like a wind tunnel, and it literally feels like it's going to take the roof off sometimes, which it won't, fingers crossed. I hope not anyway, because all my models are in here. Yeah, sometimes it feels like it's going to take the roof off, but you know, we hope it won't, So I'm just picking out what I think is going to be trim, and the little ball things, the base of the balls. His balls are gold. Ooh. As I say, I just find it relaxing. I think everybody finds the hobby relaxing, I should think. I know not everybody's a painter, and some people like to play, and I enjoy playing. I enjoy playing the game just as much as the next person, but the painting has always been the relaxation aspect for me. It's always been a big plus, you know. And I think it's interesting the positive effects of Warhammer and hobby in general can have an our state of mind. You know, on our, I don't want to say mental health for want of a better word, but you know what I mean. It's of well-being. It relaxes me. You know, I have a busy job, I have a family, we have a lot going on, and Warhammer is the release, you know, or you know, the games as well and stuff like that. Well, so I would be interested to know if you're watching live, or if you are watching back. Drop a comment or pop in the chat what legion you like. You know, what's your favourite legion and why? Mine's obviously Sons of Horus because they're the best. Ooh, the internet exploded. I love the Sons of Horus. They just look badass, don't they? And let's be honest, they are the main baddies now. I like the fact that you can actually technically play them loyalist as well. I mean, you know, if you're that way inclined, you can play them as loyalist. I don't know why you would ever want to, but you know, some people I assume will, which is fine. You know, you can get, apparently from Forge World, you can get a pack and it's got a bad in it, and he looks ace. And it also comes with another guy called Loken, you know, which you can use as a dead body on the bases. Don't know if anybody's got into the books I was reading. I got my books, and I was reading away. And there's Horus Ascended is 1,000 points. He's 1,000-point level. Oh, the dogs. Here we go. The dogs are all going in. So I don't know. Those who watch the channel and sort of watch our live stuff and that, I don't know what's happened recently, but they seem to have like a kennels opened up locally, and this is what we get all day. I get the dogs back, you know what I mean? I get that. We used to have a dog, but not all the time, you know, and it's going on like that 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And you hear the bloke and he's just like, he's got no control over it whatsoever. Which is just concerning, I guess. I don't know. As long as it doesn't interfere too much, we're alright, aren't we? So I think skulls, I mean, it's Warhammer, so it's going to be skulls. So I'll do this gold as well, with brassy brass. I paint sort of like, I just like, oh, that looked good while I'm going. And, you know, because you stick to the same base colours across your whole army, it just allows you to experiment a little bit more when you're going, because you know that all the colours match across your force. So therefore, you know, as long as you're using the same colours, you're going to tie it all together. That's quite, you know, an important process. If you're looking for that unity in an army anyway, and you know, you just follow the same process, take your time. I'm not the best painter in the world. I've never claimed to be the best painter in the world, but I do know the techniques to make sure that you can paint relatively straightforward and that you can get a reasonable result. That's probably the thing. So so the cape. So Paul, thank you, Paul. Yeah, I enjoy. We're quite lucky. So I've done the cape just black to start with. So the outside's going to be black, and I'll blend that through the black. There's like a banding along here, which I'll get to eventually with the gold. On the inside, I think I'm going to do it red, because I think the red contrasts quite well against the green on the Sons of Horus. And it's also the reason why I've done my bases like Martian bases, so they sort of contrast quite well and it makes them pop. So red and green sort of pop well against each other, but we'll get there. Excuse me, we'll get there. I'm just at the minute just blocking out, so this is what we do to relax. There we go. Ooh. No, I don't really know. I know that some of the painting is incredible. You see on Horus Heresy, isn't it? One of my friends, Pete, he's a really good mate of mine, and he's really into HERESY. And you will meet him eventually on the channel. We're going to play some games together and stuff like that. But I feel that I need to have like my army fully painted, because the love that he has thrown into his models is on another level. It's on another level, you know. Like, he actually was just featured in the Games Workshop featured him. So he went to the event at Warhammer World, and he was the Imperial Fist player. So his Imperial Fist army was sort of like mentioned as a painted, and all of his legions are the same. You know, they're all lovely. So it makes you feel as a you know, you've got to sort of like raise to the level, haven't you, so to speak. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So the Martian bases, I'll just do this a bit for. So they're actually dead easy. So I colour theory is a big thing, isn't it? So one of my friends, when I was in university, I used to take the mick out of my mate because he did art. Just friendly taking the mick, a gentle ribbing, you know what I mean? And I never saw him doing it much, but that's another story. So, and he sort of showed me that colour theory, because we were both into Warhammer, and he showed me the colour theory. So, and absolutely, green and red really work well against each other. So that is Martian base ready from Geek Gaming Scenics, and as you can see in there, it's got larger rocks, and it's sort of like Martian dust, so to speak, and it's super easy to use, this guy, and it's pigmented as well. As you see on the end of the brush, it's sort of pigmented, so you can literally just pop your PVA on the base, run it through, and it's done. And look, it's like a pigment dust on it, so it's ever so fine, so you can sort of like rub it up the sides of your miniatures and stuff like that. It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant product. And it's a one dip base. I'm not even paid to say that or anything like that. I do know Luke. Yeah, he's a nice guy. But he's that product is just spot on for what I'm doing, and that's how I'm using it. So, and it's just a nice and easy sort of thing to get that result that looks decent. Because at the end of the day, when I said to Pete, I said, "Oh, HERESY, yes, I can't wait to start painting it." And he was just like, "Hey, general rule of thumb for HERESY is that it's casted in dust, muck and pigmentation and stuff like that. So give me an excuse to break out the pigment powders, which I've really enjoyed doing. And eventually, you know, as we progress through this, we'll get onto using pigments and stuff eventually, I suppose. It's just more at the minute. It's just nice to sit and paint and relax as we get there. So, what Legion is everybody else doing then, or are people playing the game? You know, is it something you decided to give a miss to, or you know, what's on your hobby desk, so to speak, for the weekend? I mean, mine is I'm lucky that I work from home, so I get to do quite a lot of painting on lunch breaks when I get them. You know, and it sort of like aids me in getting things done. And I also find it relaxing, you know. On your lunch break, you can pick up a brush and paint for half an hour. Excuse me. It does help, you know. It helps you progress through the day. And copious cups of tea. I try to stay away from the copious cups of coffee. That doesn't end well, does it? Okay, so I think we're going to give his axe. I think the top there. There seems to still be skulls on everything. So even in 10,000 years, skulls must be the most popular thing to adorn your armor with, to adorn your weaponry with. Let's get those skulls on everything. That must be how they go about it, you know. You can imagine them all meeting up for a pint after they've been on a bit of a crusade. Oh yeah, I added an extra skull to my battle axe today. Oh, did you, Brother John? Oh, fantastic. So if you are watching us for the first time, welcome. My name's Tom, and this is the bunker. I call it Tom's bunker because I started it during the first national lockdown for COVID, just as a thing to do, really. And it's grown more now into the bunker, so there's a collection of my sort of vagabond friends, and we play games, paint, throw dice, have a laugh, have fun. So if you are new to us, do check us out and drop us a subscribe. I have to say that because Rob will kill me if I don't. But yeah, do check us out and drop us a subscribe. We're very what you see is what you get. Basic techniques to get a decent result. Mates playing games. You know, if you want high tactics and somebody telling you how to win a GT and stuff like that, this probably isn't the channel for you. I'm not going to lie. However, we do have a good time, which is what it's all about. So let's do that one goal, because obviously an axe, I don't think you'd sort of like put a major stress point there. It wouldn't be an actual skull, would it? It just smashed to bits. There we go. Oh, hello, dog. Delayed back kill team. Oh. So Iron Warriors. So Iron Warriors are interesting, aren't they? So James, my one of my other friends, which again you will meet. He has been in a video, but he was what's his face, because I actually totally forgot his name while we were filming. So he's now forever known as Brother What's His Face. Anyway, I digress. So he plays Iron Warriors, and he started doing them, and you know, and he's been. James and Pete played Heresy back before it was plastic. So their armies are all resin, and they're all lovely. And they've all got things that I look at and go, James, what on earth is that? Because you've got Terminators with missile launchers on the back and stuff like that. So really sort of like interesting, cool stuff. So you'll see both these guys as and when they come. So, but his Iron Warriors, I mean, it just seems they're really cool. I mean, he's playing against Pete quite a lot, and he also goes to the events, you know. So he's also been to the Warhammer World events and things like that, and he was there because obviously I think it's Imperial Fish and Iron Warriors are not the bestest of friends, are they? From what I know. So obviously they spend a lot of time playing each other and blatting each other with artillery and stuff like that, and they always have a really good time playing, and I think that's what Heresy is all about. I love the fact that it's aimed at a bit more narrative play, and it's a bit more, let's do this because it would have been cool, and this is what they would have had at that battle, and I like that. I like the let's, you know, talk about this game as to how we can get the best out of it and how much we can enjoy it and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. So Pete and James both went to the Horus Heresy event at the weekend. Pete was lucky, well, not lucky, his army's absolutely stunning, and that's actually the Imperial Fist army that Games Workshop featured. The guy's got Thunder Orc, and you know he's really, really, really into it. Lovely guy as well, and you'll certainly see him featured in the channel. I spoke to him the other day. Really, the only hold up is me, because I refuse to play him with an unpainted army, you see. So he's going to start me off at 1,000 points, and he's going to show me the game. I've got everything, obviously. I've got all the rule books and stuff like that. But you can't do better than learning from somebody that's a bit of not a master at it. He would be the last person to say he's a master at it, but he plays it all the time. He knows the rule set. He knows what he's doing. He knows the style of game, and he knows what sort of thing you're looking to get out of Heresy as well, which is really nice, you know. So he will be featured. He's got, I can't remember how many forces he's got now. So has he got Raven Guard? I can't remember now. We'll have to get Pete on. He said that he'll do like a faction focus for the ones he does as well. So he's got quite a few. I can't remember. Not 1,000 Tons. What are the other red ones? The red Word Bearers. Word Bearers. That's it. You know, the ones that are responsible for the whole thing. He's got a lovely Word Bearers army. He's got 3 legions, I think. Yeah, 3 legions, and then he was talking about doing the Solar Auxiliary as well. He's one of them, you know. It comes out in plastic, so I'll have 12 of them, and I'll still have all my resin stuff. Which is cool. So I'm sure he'll absolutely batter me at every single game we play, but you know, it's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So Yeah, getting there on the front, I think. God, this guy's really ornate, isn't he? Like, crazy ornate. Thank God. Who do we shoot first? Shoot that guy. He's really ornate. Down, so we'll just go to there. Break to a smaller brush. I think it's lovely that so many people take so much pride in the Horus Heresy armies. And that's not a bash against 40k players, guys, at all. Oh, no. And that's not a bash against 40k at all. It's certainly not, you know, I play 40k. I know lots of people that play 40k, and they are beautiful armies. So that's interesting. So obviously, like, you know, we all make mistakes of painting. So just dab off the area, don't panic, continue to do what you're doing, and then go back in with your black around it. Simple as that. It always happens, you know. I've even been told that, like, your masterclass painters may make mistakes, so you just don't film them. Yeah, it's rough and ready. Now, I know a guy that's really into, like, he can do, like, freehand on models and stuff like that. And that's always been something that sort of escapes me. I use decals. I like decals, I like weathering and stuff like that. But freehand, wow. And some of the freehand this guy can do is incredible. And it just amazes me. You know, you're just like, that's a real sort of artist job, you know. Whereas I'm a bit more, let's get the base colours down there, let the washes and the shades and everything else we do to the miniature help it along, you know. I think I'm about due some new brushes as well. You know, if any brush manufacturers out there wants to send me some brushes, that'd be absolutely lovely. Thanks so much, guys. I don't know. I've always been a bit of a, you get a brush and use it until it's dead and throw it away. I know that you can get, like, artist opus and all that type of thing, which is, you know, fine, and they are incredible brushes, but I've always just been, I don't know, it just, I've always been a bit more, as soon as it gets to a point, I just use it and throw it away if I need it. I don't know. Is that a bad thing? Probably. There we go. Let's see that on that side. Okay, so that was not exactly within the lines, was it? But there you go. However, I think we're about there on the rest of his gold and whatnot. So let's let that dry. What we'll do, we'll come in with silver now. Again, I'm just using chainmail silver. And let's water. A bit of water. You can use medium if you want to, guys. I've just always grown up using water. There wasn't really medium available in the realms of wargaming when I was learning to paint. Okay, so now these ball things are silver, aren't they? So we're just going to go over the top of the gold just to give them a bit of a... I call them ball things. I don't really know what they are. I'm guessing that they're something. Now, we're not going to highlight the gold yet. What we're doing here is literally just putting in sort of silver aspects. So I'm going to go the breathing apparatus. all of them have some sort of thing wrong with their face, don't they? So one of the things I've noticed is they all seem to have like, oh boss, what's wrong with your face? I'm so angry at the Emperor that I just can't stop getting. There you go. And that's like a little hook, isn't it? There, so we'll do that so that we'll to the axe blade, do that. And that might take a couple of coats, you know. Oh, I'm so happy that that kennel's moved nearby. I really am. So I guess I have a question, if anyone is out there able to answer me either in the comments or in the chat. What size points is a normal game? So we're sort of gearing up 3,000, which seems reasonable and also quite attainable as well, because we didn't want to just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna. It's all right saying some of them have got Titans and all things like that. Which is fine, but not everybody has a Titan. Not everybody can afford a Titan. You know, it's just one of those things. So we sort of thought we'd go to 3,000. It lets you get some decent amount of blokes on the board, and you can put your Primarch in, and obviously, like, I can't even put the Horus Ascended in, so it's 4K, which is wow. His base level 1 is 600 points, I think. So that could go in, but you know, I don't know. Chainmail. We love chainmail. Can't beat Sunday morning picking the brush up and having a paint. I don't think you can beat it. I know we can't see that, but I can. I know it's there, so I'm going to paint it. That was a bit of fun, eh? That was a bit of fun. So, let's have a look. No, I think they're going to be red. Ah. That's his crazy pistol thing, which I've given him. Can't actually remember what it is now. It's like, apart from it's really badass, seems like it's that just on the top there. It shows that. There we go. I think so. So the actual shade tone will do a lot of work there for us as well, I think. Actually, I think it's all shown down the side, isn't it? There we go. Odd, but okay. I think the skulls at the back are going to have to be like actual human skulls, aren't they? You can't get away with not having skulls on Games Workshop stuff. It doesn't happen. Ooh, what's that? A pack? I think that's a pack. That looks like it might be silver. On the top. Pipes. Silver skull. And then obviously he's got this contraption on his back that these things are stuck onto, haven't they? I do like how they look a bit different, you know? It's like, I love the other one, you know, the guy with the sword in the air, but I'm not going to lie, so when I got into this, my missus anybody that's ever seen it. That's a good idea. Yeah. So yeah, interesting. So most games are 3K, but with smaller forces, and it's interesting. So that's exactly how we've gone about it. That we've started off all the guys at 1,000 points. Primarily, I think because it is a different game system, and I did play 7th edition 40k, but it's getting the guys at the club. It's really sort of 40k dominated our club, which isn't a bad thing, you know. 40k is a popular game. It's a good game. We all play it and enjoy it. But it is a different mindset. I think 30k. I think it's more of a let's have a cool game and thoroughly enjoy playing. And I don't care if I'm running up a hill against a load of mad bolter-wielding maniacs. I don't care because it's cool and it's fun. And next time, you know what? It might be the other way around. And I think that's getting people into that mindset, because I think 40k can be a little bit, it has to be equilaterally balanced, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, I guess. I've been to 40k events and enjoyed playing them. But I would much rather be a narrative gamer. I think it's just me. Plus my dice set, universally cursed. It doesn't exactly help that. Amazing, I'm just using a bit of dotting stuff around, and that does actually bring them to life quite a lot, doesn't it? Brings them to life quite a lot. It's a lovely miniature. Lovely miniature. I think on the back here, I think I'm just going to pick out some of these bits in silver. And down the side here. Like I say, guys, if you're new to us and this is your first find us, welcome. My name's Tom. This isn't the home of hyper-competitive gameplay, just so you're aware. It's the home of people having fun with their hobby, and playing with their mates and having a laugh and chucking dice and stuff like that. Do check us out, and do drop us a subscribe if sounds like something you're interested in. So if it's not for you, that's no problem. There's plenty of other fantastic channels out there that'll meet your competitive desires, but we're a bit more local lads having a laugh. At least that's how I get away with it, because I ain't never winning anything, so you know. Apart from maybe I won a painting competition once, but that was a long time ago. Picking out some bits here, so there we go. Right, we're getting there, I think, aren't we? We're certainly getting there. That's that eagle on the floor. You can tell you're a baddie if you stand on the Imperial Eagle. We're getting there, right. So I think there are a couple more areas of gold that we want to go back to. We've still got some paint, yeah, we have. So obviously you can use a wet palette. I know plenty of people use a wet palette. It's one of those things. He is a big axe boy, that's it. The big axe boy, and it's coming down on loyalist heads. Try and get just a tickle in there, there we go. I think you can give them actually, so from looking in the book, the Sons of Horus have their own axe, Carthonian power weapon, something like that. And it's even more brutal, you know, so you can't beat killing loyalists. It's something that he does for fun. I say, something that he does for fun. So I'm happy with the pad, there's not too much overspill on there. We need to look at this now on this cloak here where we made the error. Which is fine, guys, it's literally a case that you can just get your black again. So I just use game colour black. Black's black, really, if you just want a sort of a matte black. And a bit on there. And it's a good excuse to give the cloak its second coat. You know, 2 thin coats. Yeah, 2 thin coats. But it's dead easy, and it just go back over the top of it to your time. Let the paint do the work. There you go. Could have my own painting academy, he says. So I don't know if anybody out there has got any theories as to what they're going to bring out next. I know they keep releasing the consoles and that. As far as I understand it, and this is what the guys that play 30k and have played 30k before plastic, that's going to be the moniker, isn't it? I played this before it was plastic. They very much thought that everything that was not Legion specific was going to come out in plastic, which is cool. But then obviously if I want things like Reavers, they're still Forge World, which is fine, you know what I mean? I mean, you don't mind buying a bit of Forge World. I mean, I was the type of person that I would have loved to have got into this. Gatekeep, oh right, really, okay. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what might come out. I guess it's... I don't know. Be interesting to see what the Mechanicum is like, wouldn't it? You know, like what they come out, if that's coming out in plastic. Because a lot of the kits for 40k are probably pretty close, aren't they? Yeah. I don't know, I just like the idea of playing a bit of the Heresy out with my mates. And I guess it's more of a, I'm appreciating, you know, when you play and somebody puts down an army, and I don't mind, everyone's got a different painting ability, everyone's different, you know. But for somebody that puts their army down and just goes, yeah, fair enough, yeah. Yeah, the cost of some of the armies, so some of the, oh, hang on, we're blowing away. The cost of some of the armies that I've seen are quite sort of detached from reality, I think, is probably the best way of putting it. I did speak to a guy who said he'd spent over £20,000 on for Horus Heresy stuff. Which is, you know, fine if you can get away with it, and the missus what murder you, but my missus would certainly murder me if I spent that much money on Horus Heresy. I'm not even going to lie, guys, there won't be another stream because it'd be finding my body on the 10 o'clock news. Let's do that, we'll do it all as a statue, you know, yeah, 20 grand on, wow, on Warhammer, you know. But you could easily do it, I suppose, couldn't you? If you had that sort of to spend, and I'm not knocking anybody that does that, you know, if you want to spend that sort of money on it, that is perfectly fine, you know, it's your hobby, do what you want. You could easily spend that sort of money, easily, I reckon, you know. I guess it's what you want to get from it, isn't it? I mean, like, he's got Thunderhawk, Titans, he goes to that Titan March. What is it, the Long March, Titan March, where they play Adeptus Titanicus, but with full-scale models, which is just, wow. Certainly something to behold, I think, so. Maybe one day I'll buy a Titan. Maybe. Don't tell the missus. Please. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting there. So the cloak's drying up. We're getting there, aren't we? So let's touch on these skulls a little bit. Surveying all of my paints now. I'm gonna use Rakarth Flesh. Yeah, you could have an Aston like do it. Oh my god, I mean, it's a good job they don't do like one of them. So my missus recently had a birthday, and I bought her this hairdryer, right, and it was like 220 quid, which is fine, you know what I mean. Like, she's not a go out and spend ludicrous money on stuff and things like that. So I said, so go on then, I'll buy you this. She really wanted it and all this sort of thing. And this thing pops up and says, oh, do you want to pay in installments? So I was like, no, I'm okay, I'll just pay, thank you very much. But then I thought in the back of my head, can you imagine if Forge World did that? Credit plan. Ooh. So we're going to do 2 coats over these boys. Yeah. So I am, for those that have joined later on and are rewatching, so my name's Tom, this is The Bunker. We're a selection of mates, essentially, that play all the different games that we like. We're not hyper tactical, we're not hyper, well, we try to be tactical, but you know, best laid plans. And one of my mates is called Pete, and he's been playing 30k since it was in resin, back in the day, lad, and all this sort of thing. And I've jumped on the bandwagon now, it's plastic, and I am doing the Sons of Horus. Mainly because we didn't have a Sons of Horus player in the club. Amongst our mates, we've got Emperor's Children, Iron Warriors, basically, great tactics, shit dice, that's exactly it. That, I think, is the slogan for the channel. So I went to a 40k tournament a while back now, it was the weekend, and I was playing this guy, and I have a Chaos Knight army, mainly because I just really enjoyed painting them up, and I also just wanted to take 7 models somewhere so you can spend more time getting pissed, can't you, let's be honest. And this guy, I did alright, you know, it was only a 3-game thing. I won 2 games, lost 1, and the final guy I played, he'd come from Glasshammer Gaming, and he was a really nice guy. And he said to me, he was just like, you know what, Tom? He says, you've got great tactics. He says, you're tactically sound. Your dice is shit. Which was, I think that sums us up, to be fair. We can get, you know, we've lined up that perfect charge, line up this perfect, you know, tactical crossfire bombardment and all this sort of thing, and then your dice just go, fail. We're getting there, aren't we? Getting there. So, we'll switch back on our black. Can we get that back? Yeah, there we go. So obviously this is that's another war story I could tell you. So I once went to an X-Wing tournament. So I used to be really into X-Wing, and I mean really into X-Wing. And I even me and my mates, we were on about going to the Worlds and stuff like that. That's how into X-Wing I was. And I used to win. You know, I used to win the game. Really enjoyed it. Mainly because there's Warhammer and there's Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I went to this event, and it was the second day, and we just, you know, gone to the travel lodge and all this sort of thing. And I played this guy the next day, and he was still blasted. And I mean blasted. This guy, he rolled his dice, and he leant on the table, and he went, and just sort of like paused his life for like 3 minutes. Yeah, it was quite interesting, and in the end he ended up conceding because he needed to go and, like, you know, visit the porcelain prayer altar in the sky, let's put it that way. But wow, I've never seen anything like it. He was absolutely smashed, this bloke. I don't know what had happened to them, where they'd been. I mean, they had a good time, don't get me wrong, which is what it's all about, isn't it? But wow, he was absolutely blotted. Still, you know, not to this day, obviously, he's still on day 2, but well, maybe to this day, I don't know. But hey. Yeah, you certainly meet some characters in the world of wargaming, don't you? You certainly meet some characters. So we're getting there. So we're going to put some rope there. So now we're going to come in with some brown. Now the way I'm going to do brown is actually quite easy. I actually use Cygor brown contrast paint, and the reason being, I think it covers really well. It's quite a dark contrast, so you get a little bit of that undulation from beneath, but mainly it's like it does a lot of the work for you. I'm into a sort of like, I enjoy painting and I enjoy, trying different techniques and doing that, but I also enjoy just, getting a painted army down to play with my mates. There you go. Don't think we can see that going that way, can we? There you go. Strap. Ooh. We'll get in there. We'll get in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the way that I do things like paint this sort of grim dark sort of effect is put all your base coats in, base blocks in, and then we dark tone the whole model. And then once it's dark toned, that does a lot of the work for you. And then it allows you to come in with things like your powders and your varnish, and it just sort of really finishes and ties the miniature together. I don't know, I like that sort of style of painting. It means you can get things done as well. Oh, yeah, preparation. So is that this weekend then? Is it that Kings of War BritCon? Is it BritCon? I think it's called. So Kings of War is another game. It's a brilliant game. So for those obviously that are watching this back that are into 40k and Heresy and stuff like that, great. We also play lots of games by Mantic. And Mantic games have really come on, in my opinion, in the last few sort of years. They produce some lovely miniatures and really solid rule sets, and they're not bank breaking. They're not bank breaking at all. So you certainly won't need to have a semi-detached, mortgage up your house to get into their games. That's not how it's going to be. And Kings of War is a phenomenal game. It really is, and it's all the blocks of infantry, together. So myself and Rob dabbled with the starter set. We dabbled with the starter set and really enjoyed the game. And then I painted Rob a dwarf army. I always seem to end up painting Rob's armies. I painted Rob a dwarf army because he really likes dwarves, and we play Armada, which is like the naval version of the game. And now I think I'm going to do the Abyssals. I think. However, Mantic did just send me some of the new, what are they called? Empire of Dust miniatures to have a look at. So I think I'll be having a look at those next week and deciding then. Guess they send me something. You think you're there, don't you? You think you've got to the stage where you're like, yes, I'm going to play that game, and that's what I'm doing. And then they just send you something else. There we go. But yeah, phenomenal game, really good fun, and we're looking forward to. We're hoping to really sort of start playing that back half of the year. Let's have a. I think that's what it's brown. Most of this model is just giant cloak, isn't it? Let's go in with a bit of Cadian flesh tone for some skin. And this is the process that I use on them all. So obviously we won't finish this guy today because we might get to the stage where we wash him, but then we'll have to come back on another session to highlight him and so on and so forth. Alright, Widow's Peak, aren't he? Okay, let's touch up those skulls again. Yeah, I think the therapeutic benefits of painting I find are quite massive. To be fair, they're yeah, I think they're so useful. So this is, a stressful job and a stressful life and stuff like that, as as loads of people do. I said to my missus, I was just like, oh, I think I want to start like painting every Sunday for a bit and just maybe stream it, and she was all for it, calm you down. And interestingly, when I got my Horus Heresy stuff, you broached the topic of, you think, oh God, she's going to ask me how much it cost, and then I'm dead. And she was looking through the book and really likes to look at the Emperor's Children, so I may actually play it. I don't know if that's like a bit of black in here. I don't know if that's like one of those it's a trap moments. I don't know. Does anybody play the games with their partners or anything like that? I don't know. It seems like it's a bit of a trap to me. I'm a bit cautious of falling into. So I'm going sort of like block highlight with that, and that's obviously because the dark tone will darken that back down. It just gives it a bit of a difference, so to speak. Cloak-wise as well, we will come in and just give it some really sort of but only with this one, it just starts the process and aids the ink that we're going to be putting over the top. It's not a difficult thing to do. You just sort of pick the raised areas out. Like the tools you're going to use for your models do most of the work for you. I think that's a real key to miniature painting. It's for me anyway. I don't paint with, I don't know, like some people come and they go, yeah, today I'm going to paint this, and then paint this aspect, and then I'm going to paint this. And I just go, I just get in the groove and just start painting. I think that's why I find it so relaxing. And obviously, this just it'll make it look more like a cloth once the wash is over. Rather than that, I'm not going to touch that because that'll be like, it's ceramite. I think it's like an armour plating, isn't it? They have, and the paint sort of chips away, which we'll do a bit of. I'll show you how we're going to do that in a second. There we go. Getting there. Okay. Okay, so obviously we have a chipped armour effect, so I'm just going to go over most of the armour and even a bit of the green, just to, you see how it gives that sort of chipped and worn effect. It's like sort of almost a pre-weathering. We don't have to go crazy. It just starts the process off picking out those little bits where it would sort of wear off. Think about where would this guy's armour actually be chipped out. Some models you can go harder on them if you want to. It's like there on the foot, obviously. Like, I'm going to go quite heavy on that because it would be trudging through the ground. Yeah. Do you want his pad a little bit and his backpack? Power pack or whatever it is, I guess. Yeah. So there we go. So that's what like just takes the edge off him, so to speak. And it'll aid when it comes to actually sort of washing everything back. So what we're going to do now, we'll just use a little bit of black just to go, actually it's his hair, so we can use our hair mixed colour here. over that. And a little bit more skin colour. A little bit more skin colour. We are now officially the longest stream that we have done. Now for red, red's quite interesting again. What I'm going to actually use again is Citadel Contrast Flesh Tearers. I really like the contrast paints for how easy they are just to apply once and it's job done. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give him a red breather plate here. Red over metallic. These contrasts over metallic look sick. Yeah. Red really pops well with the green. There we go. And it just breaks up his entire outfit like it's little sort of gems of the eyes, and it's the eye Horus that he has all over his armour. So one thing about this guy in the box, I guess he is pretty much saying I am a Sons of Horus praetor. I guess you could paint him as another legion, and I'm sure people out there have. But I believe he's very much a Sons of Horus praetor. But there, I am biased as well. I am biased as well. Okay. I'm also going to use this contrast paint as the underlayer of his cloak. It'll give it some interesting shading effect, I think, and darken it down as well. Just going roughly at the back there, because I know it's there. I know you know, like some, you're not going to see that really, but I know it's there. Do you know what I mean? I guess it's an experiment, really, I suppose. There we go. Well, yeah, the neighbourhood dog retreat is still super popular, as you can hear. And being contrast paint, I'll obviously find its level. Can you see what I mean? So like it's given like that darker sort of red effect because it's got the green essentially underneath it. It also means I'm really lazy and I don't have to do anything else. Although that's really bad probably, isn't it? We'll certainly be giving it more than one coat. Right, now I think around the inside of his neck as well will probably be padded. I don't know, what do you think it is now? Go. We can always come back and touch later. It's like being Dances with Wolves living here, it really is. A touch around the top there. We are getting there. Let that dry for a bit. So, there we go, we are getting there. So you don't need to work, it doesn't take you hours and hours and hours to paint things up. Once I've given the red a second coat, I'll come in with my wash and we'll go from there. I think what we might do actually is do a bit of dry brushing on the base while that's drying. So that's another thing I do, is I sort of think, well, actually I can also do this while we're waiting. So let's hit it with some rubble, because then that'll pop against the red as well. Just give the red something to work with, won't it? Something to work with. Dead Imperial nonsense, crushed underfoot. We're certainly getting there. So we'll let him dry for a bit. I'll just have a drink of my patented Warhammer Go juice. It's called tea. Oh, there we go. Oh. Right, so that's the sort of the effect that we come out with when we're all said and done. Heavily weathered, varnished, looking badass. Thanks ever so much, mate. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your Sunday and enjoy the rest of your week. That's what it's all about. Pool break. We got a pool delivered yesterday, and I used the neighbour's hose pipe to fill it up. Anyway, have a good rest of your day, mate. Have a good rest of your day. There we go. So this gives you an idea as to what the effect is. It's grimy, it's dirty, it's heresy. He'll get there. So we just need that cloak to dry a little bit more. Oh, we've missed a bit. Okay. know nobody's going to see that but me. But it goes back to that thing where you're just like, I'd know it was there. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that makes me really sad. I think if this becomes something that we do sort of regular, I can imagine Rob wanting to perhaps get in on it as well. We'll look at getting a bit of a better camera setup, I think. What? Yes, I have a pigeon on top of my bunker. As long as he doesn't come thinking he can take things, that's fine. We had a squirrel join us the other day, one of our battle reports, which was lovely. Getting there. Have we hit a drying barrier? Or are we going to try the new... So you remember those that watched all the way through, I said that I got my partner a new hairdryer. Well, it's because I pinched her old one. Because I've been told that they're really handy for drying miniatures, for want of a better word, which is... I don't know. Is that something we're going to try? I've never done it before. This could be an absolute disaster, just so you're all aware. Let me see if I can reach the power. Oh. Did you enjoy your hobby show? Yeah, I watched the bloke blow his entire setup up with an hairdryer. Okay. Right, we're here. Does anyone know how to use one of these things? Oh, Jesus. Watch a guy hairdryer a miniature. There we go. Maybe there's something to that. Oh, please. I think that's dry. There we go. Everybody should have one of them in their hobby equipment pile. Okay, so now we're dry. The last thing we're going to do before we end for the day, guys, let me turn my palette around. And the reason I do that is because now it's all hail dark tone. So dark tone is a wash, or it's a very strong pigment wash from Army Painter, and it turns this brightness into this darkness, which is exactly what I want and what it says it on the tin. So give it a shake. always use more than what you think. We need a brush. There we go. So, straight. You can water it down. I never do. I just apply it straight onto the miniature. Get it into every nook and cranny. And it will do its best to essentially dark shade your whole model. Does what it says on the tin, guys. And obviously we're not finished yet. We're not perfect yet. We're at the stage where we will have to let this thoroughly dry. I wouldn't use a hairdryer on this aspect because obviously it's going to find its way into the crevices, all of those nooks and crannies, and you don't want it to get a false level, if that makes sense. There we go. So, and in theory, once this is all applied, we should have a nice dark looking model. Now I've got this tip off a set of guys. So I used to game up north, as you can tell by the accent. And there was a set of guys and they played bolt action. He used to come into the shop and he'd buy an army. And then he'd be there the next day with it painted. And I said to him once, I said, Phil, how do you do this, mate? Because this is just crazy. Like, do you have like some sort of slave sweatshop painting them for you in your house? Or, you know, what's happening? And he was like, oh, no. He says, I paint every night. He says, while the wife's watching her soaps and so on and so forth. He says, I paint every night. He said, but I base coat a dark tone. He said, then I use powders, and that's me done. I thought, right, okay, maybe there's something into this. And I tried it, and I was just like, wow, yeah, this guy is on with this, because it really does work, and it works for every single colour, metallics, various different things. I've never tried it over like a colour shift, so I can't comment on that. Mainly because I've never tried a colour shift, it scares me. You know, it's like wizardry or something. Oh, there you go. That's an axe done. And it is a paint that will really find its own level. And it does exactly what it says on the tin. And you don't have to be afraid of it. You can just literally just daub it on. First, when you put it on certain things, you think, oh my god, what has happened? I'm going on everything, the ground, everything. Just ties the whole miniature together. I don't know what it does. It's got some sort of formulation in it, probably. I don't know. One of those evil formulations. But it works. It works well. You know, it does what it says. It finds a good level. I mean, I've seen a guy, they do a soft tone as well, which is cool. It's a cool colour. And it essentially, over white, makes bone. You can paint an undead army, or a Khemri army, or an Empire of Dust army in one pass. It's as simple as that. Part of another reason I'm sort of edging towards the Empire of Dust for my Kings of War. We will see, eh? We will see. Uppity bomb. Obviously, this is your drying wall, you see. I'm glad we've got to this stage, guys. I've really enjoyed painting along with you all. Thank you, you know, I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the comments, and I've enjoyed the back and forth. And yeah, I think I'll definitely be doing this again. So next week, we're a little bit on holiday, so my daughter's coming to stay, but Sunday I will be back with this, and I've got a couple of videos that are scheduled to come out as well. So we're going to be taking a look at the painted, finishing all the Alliance fleet, which I've now fully painted up, and also we're going to be unboxing the Shadow Collective, Star Wars Legion, which is pretty cool. So if you like Darth Maul, or Maul as he's called, and if you like, I don't think there's a model for Kira. I checked. I really wanted there to be a model for Kira, mainly because of the actress that plays her. But you know, unfortunately not. But I'm sure it's still cool. I think we're getting there with that. So here we are, tied together. Up there, up from the bottom. There we go. See, And all I can say now is you just leave it to thoroughly dry. It darkens down and everything, so just leave it to thoroughly dry. So there we go, that's him done. Let's put the lid on our paint. And I'm really happy with the progress. So I'm going to end there, guys. We've managed to get our Praetor washed, which is amazing. And yeah, so and I think next Sunday we'll pick up sort of highlighting and see where we get with him. While I sort of paint on my lunch break and do things with the other models for the set. So eventually I can have a 1,000-point game with someone. Woo! But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. I've really enjoyed it. I've really relaxed doing it. So I'll certainly be back with more of this style of thing. Let us know what you'd like us to look at. Let us know what you'd want me to paint. If you're a company, send me stuff to paint. I'm quite happy to do that. We'll continue on the 30k theme for the time being because I think it's popular and it's what people want to see. And there's lots of interesting techniques I can show you next time. Highlighting, weather powdering, even varnishing. We'll try and get some varnishing done. But anyway, check out our socials. If you want to support us on Patreon, just search for Tom's Bunker. You can't miss it. Also on Instagram and Facebook, I will post the dried version of that on Instagram later on, so keep an eye out for that. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and always happy hobbying.